here at a community gathering where there's been genuine leadership that has come together and brought this wonderful organisation, Safe Together Network, to its first Safe Space launch. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I want to acknowledge everyone who's here. Thank you to the City of Melbourne for joining us, and to all the business leaders, all the community leaders, and of course to victims, survivors and advocates who do the most profound work, as we saw last night at the annual vigil put on by Safe Steps. And Safe Together Network, you're continuing that fantastic work for so many people. I want to particularly acknowledge Rivka Martin, who's one of our guest speakers here today, and someone that I worked very closely with when she was the chair of the state government's Victim Survivor Advisory Committee, and I wanted to do a bit of a shout out and thank you to all that you've given, Rivka. Thank you. Yes. Pulling this together is just phenomenal. I also want to acknowledge the Minister for Family Violence Prevention, who will be joining us a bit later, who is very busy at the moment running around doing budget announcements around the state. I'm particularly moved to be invited here today because I've long advocated in this space, and for a long time had a dream of seeing community step up as well as governments, because in order to embed prevention and to make our community safer, we actually need the entire community. It can't just be police, it can't just be counsellors, it can't just be domestic violence workers. It's got to be everyone. And of course, the Safe Together Network is a community-led response, and born of grassroots and working without the machinery of government or government finance. And I think having community at the heart of it will actually prove its success ultimately. About 16 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer, I had just been pre-selected to run in the state election for the area of Sydenham. It was called Keilor. What could we do about it? Of course, you know, a 60-page report probably didn't provide all of the answers, but it started the conversation, and it helped lead to a policy that then became a Royal Commission with 227 recommendations that came out of it. But to be honest, that commission probably failed in two key areas. And one was addressing the use of technology and the way it can be used to stalk women by partners and former partners. Because quite frankly, when the Royal Commission was done, that was not as prevalent as it is today. Technology has taken over. And the second part was that I feel that we could have done more through that commission, was how do we buy community in? And I'm so proud to see a network that has formed that is exactly doing that. Buying community in with some easy solutions, like having a safe space model that we're launching today. We know for many that home can be a dangerous place, and I think I've said it a million times, both around the cabinet table and in public forums. Our number one crime issue in this state, still to this day, remains family violence. Yet when you look at the newspapers and the news, you know, all you see is youth crime and carhooning. All of that youth crime comes from somewhere. There's a root cause to that. 90% of the kids that are in remand in our jails today are victims of family violence themselves. Now, that's not an excuse for their behaviours, but if we're going to start changing the trajectory of those kids' lives, we need to be intervening and making homes safer and giving them better options as children. By creating these really discreet and accessible safe points in everyday settings like shopping centres, like community centres, we're really giving victims a chance to push a pause button in the moment of chaos of their life. Whether it's a quiet phone call to a trusted contact or a digital link to a specialist service, We know that this is an important part of giving those that need it agency and freedom to do so. And seeing a partnership between a community safety initiative and a private entity like Natural Velocity is exactly the kind of cross-sector collaboration that we need. We need the private sector to step up, we need businesses to step up, we need our community groups to step up. This sort of help is not difficult, and it's about accessibility. So can I congratulate everyone here today on the launch of the first safe space, and I would love to see a safe state as well, something I've been working on. And I want to offer my full endorsement. I will be making sure I make a donation, but also advocating for more spaces where you need it. Thank you very much.